All right, people, what the hell is going on? Hold on for 1 second. Ah. Anyway, oh my goodness. I just got through watching the video, and there's a genre of videos when I'm scrolling on the YouTubes that I actively avoid for the most part. Mostly because I like to avoid spoilers and all kind of stuff, and sometimes you don't know what people are gonna be talking about. But it's these um, not exactly reviews, but people's opinion on the Marvel Cinematic Universe and why it's so bad. And of course, we all know that those kind of clickbait uh, titles get clicks, and I try to avoid all clickbait type of stuff. I really do. Uh, but I watched the video. I went and took a walk. I watched this video, and it was, why is the Marvel Cinematic Universe so bad? And man, look, I've watched everything up to this point. You know, I've watched everything up to this point, and you're gonna have hits and you're gonna have misses. But folks hop online, hop in front of their cameras, and because they done took high school theater or took some courses in college, hop on here and start telling you all the things wrong and with the movies and all this other shit and blah 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 blah. You know, and I'm like, everybody ain't going to the theater, you know what I'm saying, with a grading sheet like they get ready to hand Marvel a grade after the movie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't doing that. I mean, they doing that because they gonna do reviews and shit for their channel, so that's actually what they fucking do. But I mean, how can you enjoy anything if your whole thing is to critique it from start to fucking finish? I watch the movies, and this movie's this shit. Like, I don't have a problem with She-Hulk. Everybody would tell you that She-Hulk is trash, garbage, all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. I didn't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mind it. People say all kind of stupid shit about She-Hulk. But I'm like, y'all didn't get that it was supposed to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Marvel has a formula when it comes to their movies. I don't know what the fuck they do with the Disney Plus stuff. But I know at least for the movies they had a formula for the most part. If you keep following that formula step by step, and people are watching all these movies, then yeah, it's just naturally people are gonna look at it and be like, But that's all movies for the most part. All movies have a fucking formula. That's how you know shit gonna happen. You know in a horror movie that, okay, some bullshit is fit to jump off because you got musical cues and shit like that. Sometimes they fake you out. Most times, you get the music and then, you get the jump scare. It's gonna fucking happen. Or you watching some kind of goddamn movie and shit, everybody just ha. Yeah, everything's all great. Shit, 20 minutes done passed. You know something fucked up finna happen. It has to. Or else if the movie ain't got no conflict, what the fuck are you watching? You know what I'm saying? Everything's all good, really all good, and they showing you that everything's all good. Yeah, it's some bullshit about that. So yeah, all these movies follow a formula, blah 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 blah. But my point, or one of my points is that you gotta watch these movies on your own. Don't go watching the fucking reviews and all this other shit. I watched a video a while back. Matter of fact, I've seen that video a couple times. a seemingly intelligent person, but he was one of those people that talk about how shit the movies are and all this other stuff. And well, no, actually, he wasn't. He was doing a retrospective of all the movies, but he still picked the movies apart a little bit too much. To where he was like, it was a particular movie. I think he was talking about the X-Men movies, the Fox X-Men movies and shit. To where he read the reviews on the movie. The reviews weren't good, so he decided that he just wasn't gonna bother watching it. You don't watch 6 or 7 movies all the way up until this point on your own. You get to a movie. You watch the reviews or you look at the ratings or whatnot, and the ratings are kind of poopy. So you're like, you know what? Ain't gonna bother watching that. Whatever. I'm skip this one and then watch the next movies that come the fuck out. That's fucking dumb. You know what I'm saying? That is, in my opinion, that is just fucking stupid. You see the what would be the thing that now, like Madam Web or some shit that's a movie that just came out. And everybody talking about how poopy it is. It might be. I haven't seen it. I won't see it until it starts streaming because I have no interest in Madam Web and who the hell even Madam Web is. I know it's some comic shit, but I'm not that deep in the comics where I would know a character like Madam Web. So if I go watch the movie at the movie theater, I'm setting myself up for failure because I'm sitting there like, because a lot of times when you go watch movies like that, it's the familiarity, whatever that word is, that connects you with the character, even though it might not be one-to-one to the comics, but you like, okay, I want to see what they do with this because this is a character that I'm somewhat attached to. Same thing with Captain America, Iron Man, blah blah blah. Man, people been following these people in the comics forever. You finally get to see them on screen. That's the exciting part. Madam Web, I don't know. I don't have no idea who that is. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a hardcore. When it starts streaming somewhere, I'll watch it. But I'm not gonna, and I ain't watching no reviews on it. I just know that you look on YouTube or whatnot, and people be like, "This was horrible," and it was a disaster, and all this other stuff. I will save my I will save my thoughts on that until I actually see it myself. I don't want nobody else spoiling it for me. It's like the Marvels. I did a review on the Marvels. I like the Marvels. Give a damn what nobody say. I watched that movie and I was cheesing and smiling the whole goddamn time. That movie was entertaining to me. It was fucking entertaining to me. I could see the clickbait titles and shit on YouTube when they talk about the movie. I skip right over that shit. And then after I saw the movie, I might have watched one, maybe two. I think after I watched one, I was just like, whatever. I'm like, you just shitting on it for the fuck of shitting on it. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you just shitting on it just for the fact of shitting on it because it's gonna get you views. But I watched this shit and I was like, I liked it. Because I watched WandaVision and I watched Ms. Marvel. So I was attached to the characters, at least familiar with them, and I'm watching to see where shit go. They talking all kind of shit about the movie. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? You just picking shit to be picking shit. Especially towards the end of the movie. I was just like, what was the point of that? Well, unless you just watched this movie. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of different ways they could have did this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but unless you just watch this movie, that makes perfect goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? You done watched all these movies. You done picked apart all the movies and whatnot, but for some reason you hadn't grasped the overall plot of what the fuck is going on in the whole universe. When you gonna start talking about, just get the fuck out of here. Nah. So, yeah, watch these movies on your fucking own. Get your own goddamn opinion on shit. And don't let these clickbait, don't be clicking on shit. Don't do nothing. Don't click on nothing, don't watch nothing. Don't be scrolling up the little Google News feed where they got all the headlines and shit. Don't skip all of that shit until you've seen the movie for yourself. You know? Yeah, there's some shit out there that I couldn't wrap my head around. It's just like Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is another. Man, that little girl had me smiling the whole goddamn time. She looked so goddamn happy. You know what I'm saying? The same thing in the movie. I was like, how can you not like her? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the show could suck, but look at me. Do it look like I should really be watching Miss Marvel? No. That show, while it was entertaining, it was funny and whatnot, it was just like, okay, this is a teeny kid show. That's what it's supposed to be. So, you know what I'm saying? I take it for what it is. I watched it. I enjoyed it up to a certain point. I don't like kid protagonists for the most part, but, you know, whatever. That's what was showing at the time, so I fucking watched it. You know, the fucking, the She-Hulk stuff, people poke holes in that and all kind of stupid shit and blah, 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 and I don't get it. They told you it was going to be a comedy beforehand. And if you follow the goddamn comics, you should know. Well, if you follow probably the early comics, the later comics, I mean, She-Hulk has some shit going on, but man, that's the type of shit that you ain't gonna see that on screen. You're just gonna leave it at that. You ain't gonna see none of that shit on screen. But yeah, you knew it was gonna be, you know, fourth wall breaking, blah, blah, blah. That's what she did in the comics. You had mine when Deadpool did it. And I think she was doing it before Deadpool. So, yeah, you know, they talk shit about that. Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to bother with none of that type of shit because there's a lot of stuff that these studios have to put up with. My opinion of why the Marvel Cinematic Universe seems to be tapering off a little bit is because they doing too much. You know what I'm saying? They got too much going on. It's a lot for people to take in. If you know anything about comics and the storylines and all this other stuff, they got man, about 3, maybe 4 major storylines all converging into one goddamn thing. And it's like, that's all well and good. But at some point, it's overcomplicated. For the people making the movies and who got to write this shit, and for the people that got to watch this shit, don't know what the fuck going on. People don't know nothing about incursions and shit like that. A lot of people don't know about the Marvel Cosmic Universe and Celestials and shit like that. Looking at concepts and entities and shit like that. And how many people watching Thor Ragnarok know that they was looking at eternity at the end of the movie? They just saw some black shit. They don't know that there was eternity. I mean, the people in the comments were like, hey, that's eternity. You know what I'm saying? And you could be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? We got that in here. People ain't gonna know that. Don't know about no Celestials or Eternals and shit like that. Cause not all of it is tied in like it's supposed to. Like I said, it ain't gonna all be 1-to-1 to the comics. Where you got the Eternals and all this other shit. But I'm like, okay, you got the Eternals and all this other shit. But I'm like, goddamn, you killed fucking Thanos off already. He's an Eternal. Supposedly. And one of the stories, or a bunch of the stories, I don't know. But they brought his brother in, Eros. After that, I mean, that's big fucking missed opportunity to have all that stuff tied in. Then you got the Black Knight and Blade and and I'm saying, okay, they got, where the fuck do they come in at? You know what I'm saying? Like literally, what the fuck do they got to do with anything? You know, and it can get a little messy. And they got the other characters and stuff like that from Fox, and now they gonna try to incorporate a bunch of that shit in there. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But it's hard for people to follow that, and that's what's coming up. Now, you get some buzz now. They say, "Are we gonna get a decent Fantastic Four appearance? Will they do a movie themselves or what? I don't know. I'm not looking to find out. If it pop up on my screen that there's a movie, it's a movie. Are they gonna have a decent Doctor Doom? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, if they got Doctor Doom in here, Doom is supposed to be a big deal, like fucking Thanos turned out to be. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have Doom in that, then he has to be up there with Thanos. I'm sorry, it just has to be. Are they gonna do that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll find out. You know, I think the next thing that's supposed to be coming out is Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm like, okay, when it comes out, I'll watch it and see, you know, what ties it have to the rest of the universe in a whole. But I ain't gonna hold out no judgment for it. The other Deadpool movies were fairly entertaining, so I don't think that this will be any different. You know, you just want to see what they're gonna do with the Wolverine character, and you're gonna have to leave a Hugh Jackman Wolverine where it was, unless they do some weird Spider-Man type of shit at some point. You know, which is possible, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I like that. You know what I'm saying? These Spider-Man movies were fine. You know, and I wish they could have did the last Spider-Man movie without all the fanfare. You know, it takes some of the spark out of it when you know the other Spider-Man are coming into this universe. You know what I'm saying? I think it would have been a whole lot better if they'd have kept a lid on that shit, and then people go see the movies and be like, "Oh, look, it's him. There's Solomon. Oh, look at him too. Oh!" You know, the first day box office numbers would probably wouldn't have been as high. You know, cause it wouldn't. It probably would have been high because it's a Spider-Man movie. But after that, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like it would have been like once the buzz hit after the movie dropped, then people be like, "Oh shit, I'm finna go see what I missed." You get that FOMO. Well, I mean, once you done got buzz of it, you kind of already spoiled it. But anyway, yeah, you know, that type of shit. Watch the movies for yourself, man. And Marvel has to slow down a little bit, which I think is what they're doing now. I think they kind of game planning how they gonna do shit, because they got a lot of shit that they gotta fix, because you got the whole Jonathan Majors thing that didn't turn out for squat. So you have to try to figure out what you're gonna do with that. I have no idea whether they gonna recast or uncast Kang altogether, which might be a good deal. If you find a way to just kind of to smoothly undo that shit and roll into something else, because you already got Doctor Strange and the Incursions, because they showed that. Now you got this big break in the fucking dimensional wall, and then you got time traveling ass Kang, which, you know, I wouldn't put him as one of the characters you really want to do a bunch of movies on. It's a bunch of time traveling shit. You know what I'm saying? and a bunch of different versions of Kang. It just that will get overly complicated for majority of the film watching public, because they don't know who the fuck Kane is to start with, because I barely do myself, but I do know that there's a bunch of different shits to do with Kane. And then you got to go through all, I mean, like I said, it ain't got to be one-to-one with the comics, but it's just like, it's too much to deal with time travel and the multiverse shit. You know what I'm saying? Deal with all that shit just mashed up the goddamn together, and we don't know what. It's just it's hard to fuck find. That's where Marvel is gonna have its trouble if they don't simplify shit. It's too many characters at this point. It's not the comics where you can draw whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? You want this, you just draw it the fuck in. In the movies, a lot of shit has to be implemented, and it just keeps driving your fucking budget up. It keeps driving your fucking budget up to the point to where you gotta make $2 billion, you know, in a movie just to fucking break even. You know what I'm saying? Just to fucking break even. They be like, oh man, that movie made $2 billion. Well, you know what? They didn't make no money off of it because it cost them $2 billion to make that shit. That type of stuff there. You know what I'm saying? So they have to find a way to simplify shit, bring it back down a little bit, and then ramp it back up. You know what I'm saying? This is the stock phase where the stock price is dropping down and you're looking for it to hit a floor, which I'm thinking it's at right now, before it starts rising up again. You know what I'm saying? This is the dip. You know what I'm saying? This is the dip. For something this big, you expect that. This had a bunch of little deep. This is the dude. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, boop, it might consolidate a little bit while everybody's getting established and all this other stuff. And then you get another crescendo coming up where it's going to woo, because you done built up buzz. You gave people time to get acclimated to all these new characters that's coming in, because you got to find something to do with all these new characters and how they fit into the universe and all this other shit. But you got to keep people in their make sure you keep, man, don't they got agreements? What I'm pretty sure they do, but you can keep people from talking. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no girl power shit. Nobody want to hear that. I like the Marvels until I started watching the Assembled thing on Disney Plus. Assembled. Every time they have a movie or a series, they have such and such assembled, which ain't nothing but a documentary or the behind the scenes shit and all this other stuff, and they show you all the people in the background who make the costumes and all that other shit, all the actors and all that. But the Marvels, that one kind of made me like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, yeah, this is all women and blah blah blah. Because I mean, if you look, I'm like, goddamn, they had like one dude. I'm like, it's like if you go read the credits, you be like, damn, it ain't no men's name down here. And that's how it was. You look, you know, when you look at the documentary, you look at the little shit, and you're like, shit. Other than Sam Jackson, fuck. It was a woman's project. You know, a woman directed it, and it was a woman in every position after that. It's just, you know, while I was watching the movie, I wasn't thinking about that shit. I wouldn't. Well, I wasn't. I don't know what the fuck I just said. You know, I wasn't. And I like watching those Assemble shows. So I watched the Assemble show, and then they go on about this woman, that, and I'm just like, I really didn't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I watched the movie, I enjoyed it. I was not thinking about no girl power shit after that. I'm pretty sure a lot of that is coming on from the mistreatment of Black Widow. They trying to make up for that in some kind of way, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I'm thinking they trying to make up for that, to where they didn't do that character any justice at all. And they kind of trying to make up for it now. But I'm like, you know, you can have your female characters and make sure that you put them in prominent roles. I mean, you can't get no more prominent than Captain fucking Marvel, who at this point is the most powerful person in the universe at this. Well, in the most powerful person as far as heroes in the current cinematic universe. They've already said that. You know what I'm saying? That is not some opinionated ass shit. They openly just stated that the Captain Marvel is the most powerful out of all the heroes and shit. So I'm like, that's fine. You know. But don't have your people keep their mouth closed about all the political shit, and just have the movie stand on the movie itself, because that will turn people's. If I'd have heard some girl power shit or something like that beforehand, which I probably have, when it comes to the Captain Marvel, I think I heard some kind of shit about that with Captain Marvel. And it just, you know, I didn't really care much about Captain Marvel. I watched that movie. That movie was fine. And poke holes in it like everybody else did, and about how bad and horrible it is and all this other shit. It's a fucking movie telling a story about Captain Marvel. I don't get why you so upset about it. You know, I don't get why you so fucking upset about it. It's showing a fucking origin story. Why are you mad? What about this is upsetting you? You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta watch these movies for yourself. Get your own opinion. Stay away from the clickbait. Stay away from the headlines. Watch these movies for yourself. Once you see the trailer, once you are aware that the movie is coming out and you got the date and you know that you probably want to see it, don't watch nothing else. If you're on YouTube and a trailer come up, hit that goddamn skip button. Go on about your goddamn business. That's what I do anytime I see anything about fucking Deadpool right now. Now, I don't want y'all fucking up the goddamn movie. Bye. And I won't watch nothing else. I won't watch nothing else, because you know how people be, they'll be, you watch some shit, I'm going to watch some shit about the Marvels, and then at some point along the way, motherfuckers are going to start talking about other shit, and you know what I'm saying? You have to actually make that noise, or else you're going to hear it. You got to, and, you know what I'm saying? Give yourself some time and hit the button or whatever the fuck, and skip over that shit. I don't need you spoiling shit or ruining nothing for me. I was trying to hear about this show here. You over here talking about this. Motherfucker, stay on goddamn topic. Need you spoiling shit or ruining shit. Some point, some kind of shit gonna get spoiled. That's why with the Deadpool and the Wolverine shit, I seen Deadpool and I seen a yellow ass Wolverine. I don't need to see nothing else. I don't know who playing Wolverine. I don't need to know who playing Wolverine. I will find out when the movie come out and I go to fuck see it. My blind ass will go to the movie, sit in that goddamn movie theater, and watch a screen that I can't fucking see. I'll get just enough of that movie to where I ain't got to go avoiding shit until it starts streaming. That's how I can do it now. I wouldn't be able to do that for the last few movies that came out, because I got, you know, health and scheduling issues where I wasn't able to just go to the movies and, you know, anyway, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But yeah, that's what I would usually do. Bam, go to movie theater, sit through the movie, watch and see what little bit I can, and then I ain't got to try to avoid spoilers after that. Then I can go watch reviews on that movie, the ones that actually come out, where they show you all the Easter eggs and all this other shit. I'm like, how the fuck you even see all that shit? You know what I'm saying? All the Easter eggs and shit, all the posters on the wall. motherfuckers could tell you what's on the other side of my bedroom window, right there, on the outside. You know, against the other building, they could tell you what's in that building. How the fuck you even know? Them people trip me out. I'm like, how do you watch the movie in like a quarter speed to be able to catch all of that shit? Because some of that shit is so goddamn obscure and so goddamn tiny. How the fuck do you even pick that shit out? You know what I'm saying? You can't, I mean, what kind of vision you got where you can sit in the movie theater? The regular movie theaters I go to, I don't think the clarity on the screen is even high enough for you to pick out a bunch of that shit. You would have to be sitting on some goddamn 12K ass screen. The 12K ass screen is just some instant reality shit where you could sit there and do that fun shit, like when you could point at something on the screen and zoom it out and do all kind of shit like that and be like, there we go. You done fucking 1,000 times some speck on the goddamn wall. Yeah, this speck was the same speck that was in comic number 1203 from way back in 1968 or some dumb shit like that. They be on it. And I watch that shit because I like it, because I'm like, okay, people made effort to put shit in these movies. After you done seen a couple of those, you be like, ain't none of this shit by coincidence. When they making these movies, they plant all this shit in the movies, which is weird. Especially when you see a bad movie, you be like, y'all spent all y'all time doing all this other shit in the background, and y'all main plot or main whatever the fuck is fucked up. Yeah, you run across those too. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of those in the MCU where they got all these, I was watching some shit, I don't remember which movie it was, all these goddamn Easter eggs and all kind of shit. They done 1,000 goddamn Easter eggs they done planted in the background for people to notice and all kind of shit like that. And yeah, you just overlook the fact that the plot of your movie is just dumb. You didn't see that right there in the open. All this shit y'all hiding in the background, the shit that's out in the open, you just kind of skip right over. Yeah. It happens. But all movies have that shit. At least the comic book movies. I don't know if they got all them goddamn placements and shit and regular ass movies. Ain't nobody looking at all that shit in the goddamn background trying to. You gonna be watching like The Butler or some shit like that. Well, The Butler might, because they got historical shit, and as far as maybe decorations and portraits you might see in the background. So, they might have a little bit of that. Not like the comic book movies, though. No. Ain't no way. So, that's it. I'll be here talking all day about this shit. Don't pay no attention to these critics. You know what I'm saying? Don't pay no attention to the critics. And that goes for a lot of shit. Now, you want to get, for certain things, if you out here looking for hotel rooms and shit, for service-based stuff and shit like that. Okay, yeah, you look at reviews and get a lay of the land and all kinds of shit. When it come to these movies and shit and entertainment, see for yourself. You know what I'm saying? See for yourself. Don't let other people's opinion ruin your experience. Just don't. Like the Venom movies. I like the Venom movies. I watch the Venom movies. That shit entertained the hell out of me. There's some dumb shit in there. But not where I'm just gonna go shit on the movie. This was horrible. Wow. It's just like I'm not that character. I can't even think of that actor name, but I mean the Brock. I don't know, whatever. I don't know the main character of this shit. I'm not a real big Venom guy, but that character irritates the hell out of me. He does. The actor is fine, but that character is, oh man, I don't like the way he talks. And I understand that guy that plays that is not American, but what actor is what actor is at this point? They all from some the fuck where else. But anyway, yeah, I like this shit. I watched reviews on it, and most people would shit on the goddamn movie, and people are like, yeah, it's entertaining, but you know, it's always a fucking but. It's always a but. Now, a movie that I didn't have to worry about having ruined for me was Morbius. Yeah, that shit didn't have to be ruined for me. I watched that movie, I was like, this is garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is garbage. I watched the movie, formed my own opinion. I ended up watching some reviews on it, and that movie was so bad I couldn't hardly even find any good reviews on it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like people was like, nah, I'm not even gonna review that. And the few that I did find, they was like, yeah, this movie sucks. And you know, I formed my opinion before I went and seen that everybody else thought it sucked too. I just kind of felt bad for Jared Leto, or whatever how the hell you say his name. Just like, I'm pretty sure that man tried his ass off. I'm pretty sure that man tried his ass off in that movie, but that movie just did not do it for me. I'm just, this movie sucks. I don't like it. Didn't nobody else like it either. So, that's just saying, good or bad. Find your own opinions on shit before you go off looking at everything and shit like that. Because it ain't no point of watching a movie if you know what's to be expected of you. You know what I'm saying? You take the whole the viewing experience, you sap all the soul out of it when you sitting there watching a movie that you hadn't seen before, but you already aware of the story. Well, you might be aware of the story, depending if comic book shit, you kind of halfway know where shit gonna go. You don't know all the way, but you kind of halfway. You know the tiny little beats, but you don't know the end because they mixing all kind of shit up. But if you already know, so you already got spoiled or some shit like that and blah blah blah, it's just, oh, this is where such and such gonna do this. Or if you don't watch one too many goddamn trailers. You know what I'm saying? You ever do that? You ever watch one too many fucking trailers? Oh, here we go. This is the part of the movie where this shit right here kept popping up on my goddamn TV screen. But wasn't that supposed to be a big moment? You just, he'd do like they used to do, where all the shit in the trailers wasn't even in the fucking movie. You ever do that shit? You watch a fucking trailer, and it's like you waiting for some shit to happen. Never does. That shit that was in the trailer wasn't even in the movie. There was some shit that they ended up cutting out or whatever, but they thought was good enough to put in a trailer and get people in that. It happens. I've done that a couple times where I'm like, I'm waiting for this thing that to fucking happen, and it never does. Like, shit, did I doze off? The fuck? You blind bastards. What the hell is going on here? That dude said this and that woman said that. Because even if it's shit in the movie, they splice shit together out of context. They'll put some shit, they'll take lines from the movie, splice them together into the trailer. And them two, all them splices they put together ain't got nothing to do with each other. They don't have nothing to do with each other, but they look and sound good when you mash them together for a trailer. Anyway. Ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as it's not grotesquely misleading. Which most times it's not. So, anyway. I'm out of here. Watch shit for yourself and stay away from the goddamn headlines.